Welcome to the channel. Guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about how are sellers winning in this down market. If you're new to the channel, we've been doing these weekly lives on the Denver real estate market really since March of this year. And I've been shouting it from the rooftops. This is going to be the first significant down year Denver's seen in a really long time. And so the market has completely shifted. We have a record high inventory relative over the past 5-10 years. Buyer demand relative to that inventory is really, really low. And you see homes that are sitting on the market for 60, 90 plus days. You see price reductions that we haven't seen in quite some time. And this year will likely be the first year where we've seen a drastic price curve not going up. In fact, it's going down. And so we're going to break all of that down in today's video. And I want to tell you a little bit about how we crack the code to winning with sellers. Now, if you're new to the channel, guys, welcome. I recommend you subscribe because these Denver market updates are just something you can't typically find anywhere else done like this on a weekly basis. The reason we're doing these is really to equip you guys with knowing exactly what's happening in the market so we can put you in a position to win, whether you are a seller or a buyer. Now, these videos that we do typically every Wednesday, this one's on a Tuesday because I'm going out of town, are going to not only give you guys a Denver real estate market update, but I'm going to touch on sellers and buyers and advice in today's market, general advice, things to think about. And really, we just want to empower you to know exactly how to navigate a market, even when it feels daunting, hopeless, and just downright impossible. And so with that, let's dive into today's article. I'm going to show you around some of what we've got here in terms of the Denver real estate market, and I'm going to give you my take as well. So with that, let's do this thing. Let me just get this screen shared. All right, here we go. And guys, I encourage you, if you are in the market, considering getting in the market, and you want a high-level analysis done with and for you, as opposed to kind of these general reviews, reach out to us at the email on this video or down below. Book a link with us, and let's talk about selling your home. Let's talk about buyers, how we can put you in a position to succeed in today's markets. And with that, let's get in. The market's winter reality check. Buyers gain leverage as sellers face continued price declines. Now, how this is going to go, guys, I'm going to go over this report with you. And then I'm going to give you not only my take with the report, but I'm going to tell you how we're winning with sellers even in this down market. Okay. And so let me just zoom in here a little bit for you guys. There we go. Okay. With mortgage rates falling for a fourth straight month, seasonal buyer activity is sparking subtle but notable shifts in the market. Price reductions have eased, inventory ticked up slightly as fewer homes came out the market, and seller concessions have declined for 5 consecutive weeks, and the gap between asking and sold prices has narrowed. This is welcome news for sellers who weathered the dog days of summer. If rates continue to dip, pent-up demand could fuel a short-term boost in activity, and an encouraging window for sellers and an attractive opportunity for buyers. But sellers should be very wary of leaning too heavily into optimism. Even if lower rates bring a burst of buyers, nearly 13,000 homes remain on the market, and winter always thins demand. Contracts will slow, prices will soften, and if rates dip further, October through early January could open up an incredible buying opportunity for those ready to move. Now, let's look at buyer demand. Last week, 824 properties went under contract across the Denver metro market on more than 23,000 home showings. For the first time this year, weekly contracts have outpaced 2022 levels, a clear sign that buyer activity remains strong. With interest rates trending lower, this momentum looks poised to carry modestly through the early holiday season. What's interesting about this, guys, is like buyer demand in summer, that's why he called them the dog days, was really, really bad. We weren't seeing under contract activity like we were relative to market trends year to date. But like the fact that we're outpacing 2022 levels, that's incredible. This is supposed to be kind of the downtrending months. And in a lot of ways it is. This is just one metric we're looking at here. But this is a positive sign. The reality, guys, if we look at historically how many homes have sold in a 12-month period last year and the year before, that was really, really low. This year is significantly lower than that. And so what that tells us is there's a lot of buyers who haven't bought. They've been on the sidelines, and we have the demand waiting to jump over the fence. But when you have higher interest rates, a lot of those folks decided to rent longer, to not sell their homes because either they can't sell them for what they're worth, or for what they need to in order to make proceeds. And they just don't want to get rid of that rate. And so this is not all that surprising to me. Price reductions. After peaking near 60%, the share of homes with at least one price reduction has eased to 53% over the past couple of weeks. That's encouraging for sellers who benefit from strong buyer demand activity fueled by lower rates. That's great. But it's far too early to call this a trend. Historically, reductions climbed through December, and this year Denver market has already logged the highest percentage on record. For perspective, even at the bottom of last cycle in Denver, December 2011, price reductions peaked at 48.4, well below where they are today. Guys, that's crazy. That means we are that much higher in terms of how many homes are experiencing price reductions compared to December 2011. So the bottom line, guys, lower rates and healthy buyer activity are positives, but sellers still need a dose of reality. Prices will continue to slide, and buyers can, should, and will negotiate aggressively. Concessions. That is essentially where seller, you are paying the buyer's closing costs and or rate buy down. All right. And I heard a being. Okay, there we go. As rates decline, buyers are shifting their focus from seller-paid contributions like interest rate buy-downs back toward negotiating on price. As a result, seller concessions have fallen for 5 consecutive weeks, averaging 72.67 per contract last week. Almost to the bottom line market summary here, guys. You don't want to miss this. This is really, really good stuff. And we're starting to get to that point where we're really talking about not only today's market, but we're also talking about what's to come in the winter months and potentially in January. Okay, sorry guys. Siri is for whatever reason popping up on my computer. Okay. While it's valuable metric for tracking market dynamics and blah, blah, blah. Concessions are down. That's great. Likely to go up a little bit in winter months, but I'm going to skip this part. Sold price. Maybe sellers didn't want to believe it when we called for a negative price curve months ago. I'm not giving myself credit, but I'm giving myself credit. I called this months and months ago, almost at the beginning of the year. It's never something they want to hear. And often the first instinct is to blame their agent for not getting the price they deserve. In some cases, that frustration is fair. An agent may have failed to prepare or market the home properly. We've cracked the code. I'm going to get into that in a second. Or to set clear expectations. But in many cases, sellers simply don't want to accept the reality of shifting conditions and instead go looking for someone to blame. Here's the truth. Prices are declining, and they will continue to do so through year end, regardless of what happens with interest rates. The average sold price per square foot started sliding in May with only brief spikes since. The average sold price of a home followed in late June, and the trajectory remains downward. Why the gap between the two? Because in late May and June, larger homes were selling in higher numbers, temporarily propping up the average sold price. The underlying reality was already clear. Values were softening and the curve is still pointing down. Guys, I was calling this out early this year, and that's why you want to be a part of this channel. Make sure to subscribe so that you guys can be in the know before anyone else is in regard to what's happening on the market, because there's what the data shows and there's what's actually happening boots on the ground. And guys, this is a lot of how and why we have cracked the code when it comes to selling your home. And so with these videos, we're going to update you on the market, but also I'm going to tell you here shortly after this market summary what we are doing that's different and that's going to set you up for success in selling your home in today's market. Market summary. Falling mortgage rates have sparked stronger seasonal buyer activity, but sellers shouldn't mistake this for a turnaround. Contracts are up, concessions have eased, and price reductions dipped briefly, but inventory remains high and the market is still in a negative price curve. Buyer demand is holding steady, with contracts outpacing 2022 for the first time this year. Yet sellers face rising competition. Over half of all homes have seen a price reduction. Concessions remain triple historic norms, and the buyers are negotiating hard on price inspections and appraisals. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. The bottom line, lower rates create opportunity, but it's buyers who are in the driver's seat. October through early January is shaping up to be an exceptional buying window, while sellers must brace for continued price declines and in tough negotiations through year end. All right, guys, that is the report. Now, how are we cracking the code? What am I talking about here? We're in a down market, but sellers are winning in today's market. Yes, I had one listing. This was a couple weeks ago. We listed on Friday. We were under contract over asking on Monday. I had another listing. We listed on Friday this same weekend, went over asking by 15, 20K, somewhere around there, 3 days after listing the home. When I look at my stats of all the listings I have sold this year, we have an average list to close price ratio of 100%, meaning what we listed the house for, we sold it for. Now, there's more to that, but the reality is, guys, we've had a lot of bats this year at listing homes. I do these market updates every single week, not just on YouTube, but for my sellers. And so I know the market better than most agents. And with that expertise, with those at bats, it's enabled me to understand the market in a way that most people don't. And from there, we're able to strategically guide our clients into doing what's going to win in today's market. Now, has every one of my sellers won? No. Some have taken their house off the market. But in every single case, each and every seller knows exactly what's happening, why it's happening, and what to do in order to fix it. Whether they do or not, that's up to them and that's up to you. But ultimately, guys, the way we're winning in today's market, yes. Are we doing the professional photography and videography and the 3D tours in the floor plans? 1000%. My belief is this: 99% of marketing is pricing accurately to the condition of your house and the condition of the market, and exceptional preparation of your listing. If you do that right, that's 99% of what you ought to do to achieve the desired outcome. The 1% are things like open houses and posting on social media and doing the reverse prospecting emails. All of that matters by 1%. If you get the 99% right, you're going to do well in this market. The key is in the challenges for a lot of people is they don't know how to execute that 99% exceptionally well. And that's where we are different. We've built a process, we have standards of practice, and we know how to show up in this market for each specific unique house location area so that you guys as sellers win. And so if you guys have any questions for us, please reach out to me on the email down below. We have a link to book a call with us down below. And look, I'm sure there's agents that are better than us that have this code cracked even further than we do. This part of the video is not to brag, but it's to show you guys that we're doing this. We know what works. We know the market really, really well. And we know how to guide sellers through what can be a very, very tough market. And we just want to offer our hand out. We want to open the door to invite you in and have a conversation, no obligation, so that we can help you win in today's market. And with that, guys, thank you so much for joining the live. We'll catch you next week. You guys take care. And we got some good content coming on. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.